The question was posed on ESPN's Get Up. Marcus Spears, who is the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Here's his answer.
The Browns. I understand what Jeff Darlington is saying, but I believe what Cleveland did last year, identity-wise, tells us that. And it really is all about what Jeff Saturday said. If they control the line of scrimmage. Here's the thing you got to do to the Chiefs, all right? If you had a dream of keeping them to 12 points, you better keep the damn football from an offensive standpoint. And that's something the Chiefs, that's something the Browns can do. They can bleed you with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and the screen game and the quick passing game from Baker and getting the ball in these guys' hands. The Browns are more suited to put together 12, 13 play drives because of the way that they play football way Stefanski values being in third and short situations. Now we getting into football. Like when you get to this point, it's not just about the talent. It's not just about the guys that we looking at on the roster. It's styles make fights. And the Cleveland Browns has a style that gives the Chiefs more problems than most teams. Last year, we saw the Las Vegas Raiders just go toe-to-toe, deep ball after deep ball, and you beat the Chiefs that way. That's a slippery slope because we know what happened last time. The Browns can bludgeon you, and they can keep Pat Mahomes off the field.
And, Doug, again, that makes a whole lot of sense. The lines on both sides of the ball for the Browns are pretty good at this point.
I agree that the Browns are the biggest threat to the Chiefs. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I do think sometimes we can fall into the, hey, you're playing a great offense, hold the ball, win time of possession, bludgeon them, as Marcus Spears said. And I still wonder sometimes if that really is enough. The thing that I think would separate the Browns is that they can do that, but if you get OBJ back involved, and then you can take a shot that matters. And you have playmakers on the defensive side of the ball that can make big plays. It's a little bit, listen, Minnesota and Ohio State played in week 1 in college football. Minnesota wanted to hold the ball and bludgeon Ohio State. And they had a great running back in Mo Ibrahim, who then was lost for the year with an injury, unfortunately. But they held the ball. They had a good offensive line. That's what they wanted to try to do against Ohio State, right? But then when Ohio State did get the ball, they just threw 60-yard touchdown passes to Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. And it was like, well, congratulations, Minnesota, on holding the ball, but you had no explosion to match Ohio State's explosion. You couldn't stop Ohio State's explosion, and you couldn't match it offensively. I don't think anybody can actually bludgeon the Chiefs. I don't think you're going to time of possession them off the field. I think you have to have your own explosion yourself, at least not to match the Chiefs, but to be in range. And you have to have some ability defensively to do something to stop them. And that's where I think I like the Browns, that they have all the stuff that Marcus Spears said, the run game, whatever. But now add OBJ, a more confident Baker Mayfield, and then defensively, Miles can get after it. You can try and say, Denzel Ward, we're going to lock you up on a guy. John Johnson III is going to be roaming around back there. If I'm talking about why I think the Browns are the best challenger for the Chiefs, I'm certainly including that. I am not getting locked into time of possession, bludgeon them, because in the end, I still question whether that's really the way to get over the top against any explosive offense.
You know, the one thing that's concerning is Patrick Mahomes is a guy who you can do everything right defensively, and he can still find a way to make a play that hurts the defense.
Oh, right. So which is, to me, I think the idea of like, hey, the Browns went on an 8-minute and 23-second touchdown march, and then Patrick Mahomes came on the field, and threw a touchdown in 51 seconds. Like, okay, then the Kansas City defense comes back on the field and they're tired. I get it, but like that could be demoralizing too. Like, we worked so hard for our points, and he threw a pass between his legs 60 yards, and it went like that. I think you have to be able to match that one way or another. And listen, you're not going to stop Patrick Mahomes, but get one Myles Garrett strip sack.
Right.
Get him one time, Myles. In all those snaps, get him one time. Get one play where Denzel Ward does something, where he makes a diving play on third down to knock a ball away, or he gets a pick. Where John Johnson, that Tyrann Mathieu pick against in the playoff game against Baker Mayfield last year, you have a smart safety who is reading things. Give John Johnson the chance to make one play like that. I like the chances of this Browns defense having 5 or 6 guys who each can make one play that flips the game. And I like the explosion offensively on top of the run game, where if you didn't have, and they didn't have that last year. And that's why in the end, they couldn't really hang because they had to work hard for everything. Add the explosion on top of it. And that's what gets you over the top. I don't think you can bludgeon the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is just going to get up and throw 5 touchdown passes anyway.